I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
I'm so sick and tired of working.
Incoming! Calls are incoming!
No, they're coming now!
Oh, where am I?
You washed up.
Sorry?
Welcome to the island of discarded women, my friend.
I used to be somebody. Are you that woman on the radio?
Your island job is peladora de papas.
Sorry, what?
Potato peeler, 87% match for your skills.
Okay, that's not. Anyway, what is the second best match then?
Host of the Island Podcast.
Are you kidding me? No, see, that's me. That's perfect for me.
Autumn roses, so beautiful and sad. The diamonds of heaven will surely drive us mad.
Like autumn roses, so beautiful and sad, the diamonds of heaven will surely drive us mad.
End of the World, Act 4, Scene 17. Young climate scientist Dr. Alicia Day is working on a speech she is set to deliver the next day at Jane Fonda's weekly Fire Drill Fridays protest in D.C. Dr. Alicia Day has been asked to share her extensive findings on how the climate crisis disproportionately affects women. And with women at the forefront, change can happen. She knows her speech will be controversial, but she also knows that by staying silent, she becomes complicit. Armed with the truth, she writes,
To hell with this wet, wet raining. It'll never set me free.
Suddenly, she hears a light thud and whispering outside her hotel room. Her heart pounding, she wonders to herself.
Is someone out there? No, I must be hearing things.
Hearing nothing more than the ticking of a clock, tick, tock, tick, tock, she continues working on her speech.
To hell with this wet, wet raining.
Again, she hears a thud, much louder this time.
Someone must be out there.
Rising from her laptop, she slowly walks to the door and unlatches the deadbolt. And as she's about to turn the knob, the door bursts open, and tumbling into the room are three uninvited guests. All puppets of various styles and genres.
Oh, we're in!
Yay!
Hello. The leader is a Republican puppet, which Dr. Alicia Day has encountered before. He is a worn, overly stuffed white athletic sock with pasted-on googly eyes, one of which is missing.
Hello!
He is accompanied by two friends, a gray and pink woven finger puppet in the shape of a rhino or a unicorn. It's hard to tell.
Hello.
And a marionette-style puppet clad in a non-nation-specific military uniform with an ominous frozen smile and orange strings attached to his arms, legs, and jaw.
Hello.
Unfortunately, in the tumble, all three puppets have become entangled in the marionette's orange strings.
Oh, get off of me! Ow!
Excuse me.
Tighten up, man.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Oh, well, there's no excuse for you.
That's very good.
What on earth are you doing breaking into my room? My hotel room!
Well, climate change is a hoax.
You know, Mr. Republican Puppet, if you stop lying, maybe you could grow up and be a real boy.
Oh, she's a precocious one. Watch her. She's crafty.
Oh, I bet she's Swedish.
Can we order pizza now?
Why are you here? I'm assuming it's not for pizza.
Well, kinda.
We're making a statement.
And resisting.
And colluding!
No, we're not colluding. We're not
no.
colluding. We're not colluding. No, our job as Republican puppets is to obstruct whatever you are doing.
Right.
So, what are you doing?
I'm writing a speech laying out a doable plan for approaching the climate change crisis.
Oh, she's writing
a speech. She's writing a speech.
Yes, I am. And I'm going to deliver the speech at a public rally.
Oh, she's gonna deliver
deliver
a
a
speech.
speech. She's gonna deliver a
speech.
speech.
She's a socialist.
She's a loser!
She's a whistleblower.
Are you the Whistleblower.
Do you guys ever actually listen to yourselves?
We demand transparency.
We demand to add to the speech.
We demand pizza.
Okay. What would you add to the speech?
Facts.
Okay, which facts?
The world is 6,000 years old.
It is not.
It says so in the Bible.
Yeah.
It does not.
I thought that's what you
What?
said.
No, I didn't say the Bible. I
What's that?
said the flannel graph in my Sunday school.
Okay, well, climate change is a hoax. We know that.
And a witch hunt.
Yes.
And you're a fake scientist because you're a girl.
Go, she's a girl. She's a girl.
Yes. I am a young woman. A young woman who was handed a book in high school by the librarian who thought it might interest me. The book was about female scientists.
Whatever.
That book was filled with names like Ada Lovelace and Marie Curie and Katherine Johnson and Hedy Lamarr.
Whoa, Hedy Lamarr.
Yes.
She's pretty. She's pretty.
In the 1940s, Hedy Lamarr invented a radio frequency hopping technology for torpedoes, which is still used today for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Well, who knew about that? I didn't know.
I was so inspired by the women in the book. So I enrolled in a science class, one of the only girls in the class, and we learned about space and time. And then I took more science classes and learned about biology and chemistry, and I fell for science.
Wow.
And I excelled in my studies. And the more I learned, the more I felt alive and connected to every living thing on this planet. This universe is magnificent. Look at the photos from the Hubble telescope. It is a field of wonder. If that doesn't give you the chills, you're not really alive.
I don't think we actually are alive.
But there's still time. We all live here on this planet. Can't we agree to protect it? For all of our sakes. You should be proud of young people, young women, for picking up this burden and advancing the cause of protecting this planet for everyone. The air, the water, the planets, the animals.
And the oil! Don't forget the oil!
Touching.
In the morning,
Whoa.
in the evening, drill, baby, drill.
Oh, you got that right.
Poles are leaking,
Yep.
the coasts are sinking, money's in the till.
Cha-ching.
Those climate scientists who work in D.C. had to be muzzled and set back a century, so
We gotta have coal. Lots and lots and lots of coal. Though the odds are saying solar and wind, but that doesn't get us votes.
Or roll back protection.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to breathe every day.
No.
I'll roll back protections. It's from Icky Obama anyway.
Get out! Get out!
But we haven't done our dance break yet.
Get out.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Ouch! That.
Dr. Alicia Day watches as the three puppets scramble to leave, still tangled in orange strings. When they are finally out of sight, she shuts the door, sighs, and resumes work on her speech. The speech that will save the world and get her arrested with Jane Fonda.
I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
I'm so sick and tired of working. I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
I'm worn out.
She's worn out.
For your love, and it's hot, and it's hurting. The diamonds of heaven, they will shine down on me. To hell with this wet, wet raining. It'll never set me free. Like autumn roses, so beautiful and sad. The diamonds of heaven will surely drive us mad.
In 1961, I was 12 years old and in 7th grade, and the most popular TV show among my friends was Dr. Kildare, a drama about a handsome doctor in his first year of residency at an urban hospital. Everyone I knew fell in love with Richard Chamberlain as young Dr. Kildare. And soon Dr. Kildare shirts were selling all over the country. They were basically a white collarless shirt with buttons at the shoulder. Anyway, kids started wearing them to school. It was the cool thing to do. And I desperately wanted one, mainly because I was excited to think of myself as a doctor someday. But my mother, who was my champion in so many ways, said no. Mother was a fashionista and kept a close eye on the wardrobe of everyone in our family. She was always blunt in her assessment of what we could and should wear. No Dr. Kildare shirt for me. She explained, "It wouldn't flatter you, honey. You're short and plump. You need something a bit more tailored. You don't want to feel self-conscious." What a message. Don't be a doctor, Nancy. The uniform will make you look fat. As it turned out, one of the boys in my class, his name was Jeff, had a crush on me, and he had a Dr. Kildare shirt. He learned that I wanted one, so he offered to let me wear his every day at school. He would wear it to school over another shirt, and then take it off and let me put it on over my dress. And then at the end of the day, I gave it back to him, and he wore it home, and then he played football with his buddies in it, and then he rode his bike with it on, and he ate dinner with it on, and he wrestled with his dog with it on, and then he'd come back to school the next day and give it back to me. But by the end of 1 week, the still unwashed shirt was a bit more than I could stand. So I thanked him, and I told him he was the kindest boy I had ever known, and he could have his shirt back forever. And I told him that I might consider going on a date with him someday when I was older, if my parents said it was okay. He was happy. I was happy. I'd gotten to wear a Dr. Kildare shirt. I took every science and math class offered at my high school, and I excelled. But there was never any encouragement to continue with science in college, let alone as a career. Not from my guidance counselor, not from my teachers, not from my parents who wanted me to be an elementary school teacher, because you get summers off to spend with your children. But passions don't die if they're nurtured from within. And now, at the age of 70, I'm studying physics. In my mind, I see myself as a scientist, and it's a great look on me.
You know, I am encouraged to get a good education, as high as possible. PhD, MD, double certified, and that's all in one go. And a good career, you know, be a doctor, lawyer, dentist, pharmacist, biologist, business. Basically anything that ends with ist and s, but not actress. My family always emphasized the importance of getting education and a good career. Probably because they came to this country as refugees and they want me to have a good life. However, it is interesting how Hmong woman can be viewed if she only focuses on her career. Her career and kids have to be balanced. If the woman is too ambitious or makes more than the man is put down from his family, community, and this, as a result, affects his relationship with the woman. Because, well, most Hmong men have pride issues. If she solely focuses on her career and does not settle down, it's as if she's not fulfilling her life as a woman. Why isn't she married? Why doesn't she have kids? Oh, she must be too good to be with anyone. It doesn't matter how smart she is. She must be like this and like that. That's why she's single. She must be a lesbian. And the comment I've heard most about ambitious women is, a smart woman is an argumentative woman. And frankly, most men just don't like that. So, are there restrictions as to what a Hmong woman can do and be career-wise? No, but there are strings attached.
So, remember Julie Briskman, the woman riding her bicycle who famously flipped off the president's motorcade in a viral 2017 photo and got fired from her job because of it? Well, on November 5th, she won a seat on the Loudoun County, Virginia Board of Supervisors. I know. Yes, it is her first stint in public office. The newest member of the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors is brought to you by Flip 'em the Bird. When you can't find the words, let your gloves say it for you. Shop their fingerless gloves and hats at flip'emthebird.com.
When there's no words, flip 'em the bird.
Bicycle and motorcade not included.
Drone drop delivery. Your t-shirts are here soon.
Whoa. The t-shirts are here already?
Yeah, it's a huge box. How many did you order?
Well, one for everyone on the island. I mean, for our WW Shush protest march.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see.
This is exciting. Oh my God.
Boy, there's a lot of them here. Okay.
Oh, that yellow is nice.
Yes, thank you. I picked it out. Thank you very. Wait.
What?
WWW Shush.
Okay.
That's what's printed on the t-shirts. WWW Shush.
Right. So
Three W's. It's supposed to be 2. When women show up, shit happens.
Someone must have autocorrected. Or they thought it was a website. It's okay.
Well, what are we going to do? All right, okay. Okay, I've got hundreds of these shirts, so we could tweak the name, all right?
Yeah, that'd be easy.
Okay, when wonderful women show up, shit happens.
Or when woke women show up, shit happens.
That's good. Okay, or wonder when women show up, then shit happens.
Yeah.
Why won't women show up to make shit happen?
Or why won't women just shut up?
Yeah, the shirts are going back.
Yeah, send them back.
Yeah, they're going
Just
back.
send them
I'm sending them back.
Yeah.
So I was hired to be a fortune teller for a big corporate Christmas party. I'm sorry, actually I was hired to be a fake fortune teller. So the guy who called thought it would be really, really funny if I made up crazy fortunes at this cocktail party in front of this big group of people before their big holiday dinner. Sounded like fun, money was good, so I said yes, all right. And I worked up a couple of bits that I could improvise around. I made up a name, Crystal Ball, and thank you, and a fortune teller outfit, and a voice, sort of a voice to go with it. And I show up that night, and the guy has made this big fancy booth that looks, really legit, and it says, Crystal Ball tells all. Okay, here we go. So first person in line, she comes up, and I say, okay, you need to look in my eyes. Will you look in my eyes? You have very, very dark brown hair. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think you've always had really, really dark brown hair. And I'm getting a signal, yes, I'm getting a signal, that you will always have very dark brown hair. It's defying logic and science, but that's the truth. Funny enough, she laughs. Okay, moving on. Second person in line, I get my deck of cards out. So far, so good. I tell her, I'm going to randomly pick a card, okay? And the card that I pick is going to be very, very significant in your life, all right? So I shuffle the cards, and I pick a 6. And she says, actually, that's funny that you picked a 6 because 6s are my number. Anything important or significant in my life has happened on, like, the 6th of a month. So the 6 is really important. So what is it saying to you, the significance of the 6? Yeah, okay. Well, it's a 6. Better than a 5. If life is a 1 to 10 scale and 5 is the middle, let's say it's the norm, let's say it's the status quo, well, this is the 6. So you're obviously stepping away from the 5. You're stepping away from the norm. You're stepping away from a rut. Maybe you're in a rut. Maybe you're stuck in the middle and you're trying to get out. You're trying to get to that 10. And you're getting there. It's slow. You're only at the 6. There's still the 7, 8, 9 to go. But you're persistent, you'll make it. And I stop improvising about the number 6 for just a second to look at her and realize that she has started to cry. And she says, I can't believe you said that. I have been in such a rut these days, and I've been hoping for something to happen and wishing for it to happen, but it just doesn't feel like it's happening fast enough. And now you're saying it's supposed to be gradual, that maybe I'm just supposed to be more patient. And the fact that you picked the number 6, I got married on the 6th. My husband died on the 6th. It's such a special number. I just can't believe this. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug? Okay, what just happened there? And suddenly the tone of the party has changed completely. The loud sort of laughter and chatter has stopped dead. And no matter what I say or do, everyone is taking me seriously. I try to introduce different things, but no, they want the cards. Do the cards. What's my significant number? What's my number? And I can't seem to figure out how to tell them that I'm fake, guys. I'm making this up. It's all a thing. Crystal ball is not my real name. I'm a fake fortune teller. It's supposed to be a joke, but I'm stuck. I am literally trapped in my own parody. And I still have an hour to go. I stumble, however, on an opportunity to confess when a guy says to me, "Oh, yeah, are you kidding me?" And I say, yes. Yes, actually, I am kidding you. You got it. That's, so sorry. You know, that's it. You got me, you called it. And he says, yeah, right. So anyway, you picked a jack, and then you picked an ace, and then you said something about the missing king and queen. And I said, he goes, I'm the jack, right? I go, yes, right, you're the jack, and I'm trying to be an ace, like I'm trying to be the best I can be. Right. So the missing king and queen are maybe your parents, and maybe you are trying to gain their approval for something. You're trying to get them to understand that you want to make a big step. And he goes, to get married? Oh my God, he goes, I can't believe you said that. I cannot believe you said that. I didn't even think of that till right now. Yes, I have been waiting for my parents' approval to ask my girlfriend to get married, and I don't need their approval. I mean, I'm in my 30s. I can just ask her to get married. Where is she? She's here. Oh my God, I gotta find her. Oh my God, you nailed it. Boy, did you nail that. And I'm thinking to myself, I gotta lose the cards. Okay, so the line to my booth is now really, really long, and the corporate guy who hired me comes bouncing up, and he's like, wow, look how popular you are. I knew you'd be good. And I pull him aside and go, no, look at me. You gotta look at me. I'll be right with you folks, okay? Just a second. No, they're taking me seriously, okay? You gotta stop this. They're listening to everything I say. They're believing it all. They're changing their lives. They're proposing. You gotta stop this. I'm dying up here. You gotta stop this. But he doesn't hear any of that. And he just says, I knew you would be good. Keep up the good work. And I still have 50 people in line. And I have no idea how to handle this situation. I said, oh, hey, how about palm reading? Okay, palm reading sounds good. So I decide this will reveal my lie, because I know jack shit about palms. So the first woman steps up, and she has this really, really severe line down the middle, like this cut, like this canyon almost, down the middle of her hand. It's cutting through all her other lines. And so I say, okay, that one of them is your love line, and the other one's your lifeline. And she's like, well, which one? It doesn't matter. Anyway, and then, and this one, and she said, well, what is that line that cuts through the middle? And I said, that's your career line. That's your opportunity line. And it's cutting through the middle of all those lines. So really, it looks like midway through your life, you're probably going to make a major change in your job or your career, and it must be a really big deal because it's really deep and really, really, cavernous. And so it must be, probably predestined because it looks like it's been there for a while and is really, really deep. And she stops and she says, oh my God, honey, where's my husband? Honey, you are not going to believe what she just said. Tell him what you just said. No, I'll tell him. Honey, she just said that I am going to make a major career change midway through my life. And then she tells me, okay, I just had my 4th interview today for this dream job. It's a job of a lifetime. And it's such a perfect fit for me that I am so afraid that I might actually get it. Because it would I don't know if I'm ready for it. It would totally, totally change my life. But honey, if it's predestined, I think I should take the job. Honey, I'm going to take that damn job. Get some champagne right now. I got to. And he says, honey, they haven't actually offered you the job yet. And she goes, no, but they almost have. 4 interviews. Obviously they're very interested. I think I'm standing in the way. They're sensing my hesitation. But now she's saying I should just take it. I'm not saying that. No, she did. She just said it's predestined, that I should take the job. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this job. I'm so excited. Let's just do this thing. Oh, thank you. And she's hugging me, and she's hugging her husband, and I'm silently screaming, help me, please. And then a miracle happened. The dinner bell rings. The cocktail party is over. Everyone is supposed to take their seats in the main ballroom. It's over, and I am free. But no, there are still 20 people in line. And by God, they want to have their fortunes told before they leave. And I try to convince them, no. Listen, it's time for your holiday dinner. It's time for you to take your seats. No, one guy yells, no. I've been in this line for 30 minutes, ma'am. I'm not leaving till I get my fortune told. Oh, we're mamming now? That's what we're doing? We're mamming now? This line has turned into a ma'am calling angry mob? And I am so close, I am this close to jumping up on my seat and saying, I'm fake, okay? I'm fake. I don't have a clue of what I'm doing. This was supposed to be a big joke. I'm sorry that all you people are so freaking gullible, that you have listened to everything I've said, everything I've made out of thin air, and that you have believed all of it. But I don't say that. Instead, I say, well, I'm going to be in big trouble if you don't take your seats now and go have your dinner. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I got to stop. And right then, a second dinner bell rings with an announcement telling everyone to please take their seats now. And they leave. And I'm free. Sort of. So I come home, and I am totally confused. What happened? How did this get out of hand? Anyway, I try to breathe through the whole thing. I try to just let it go. I try to get some sleep. And the next morning, the phone rings. Hi, I'm throwing a big holiday party at our Lake Minnetonka home. And I was wondering if you'd be available to come and read fortunes. A friend of mine was at the IDS banquet last night and said you were just terrific. So I'm hoping you'd be. I go, I'm sorry, what's the date? The date? Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm so sorry, I can't do that. In fact, I'm not telling fortunes anymore. I decided to move on. I decided to do something different and actually go back to acting. I took my own fortune and said, go back to acting. Go back to pretending people that you're not. And so I'm so sorry I can't do your party, but I'm sure it'll be a fun party, and there's other people who tell fortunes, and have a happy Christmas and goodbye, and I hung up. And while trying to take a cleansing walk later that day around the lake, a friend says to me, maybe you were just subliminally picking up on what these people needed to hear. I mean, maybe you were actually kind of reading some sort of need that they were having. I mean, without knowing it. I mean, you're pretty intuitive. You may be more intuitive than you think. And I said, shut up.
Oh, Sue.
Yes?
I have a story about fortune telling, too.
No. Oh, no, you do?
I do. Well, I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. I was living in New York City. And I went home to Pennsylvania for a long weekend to spend some time with my parents. So I arrived on a Friday afternoon. And I no sooner arrived than my mother came into my bedroom, threw herself on the bed, and cried, "Your father and I haven't had sex for 3 months." And then she started sobbing. "I don't think he loves me anymore." And I thought, ew. I mean, do I have to know this? But I knew she was really upset, and so eventually what came out was that my father was in a state of depression. He was worried about dying. He was turning 50 in 3 months. And because his grandfather had died at 49 and his father had died young, he was beginning to fear that this was his last 3 months of life. So that evening, my father and I were having a cocktail before dinner, and Mother was in the kitchen, and I was alone with him, and I said, "Dad, did I tell you that I recently learned how to read palms?" I hadn't. And as it turns out, I'm really good at it. And so he looked at me with a little bit of interest, and I said, can I read yours? And so he offered me his palm, and so I looked at it, and I said, well, see, there's your marriage line. You're married. And see, there's little 4 lines here. There's your 4 kids, yeah. And see this mound at the base of your finger, very successful in business. You've been very successful. And athletic, that's this thing over here. And Heartline, your Heartline is just so solid, and it's because you're so loyal, and that's why you have so many friends. And then I finally had worked my way to his Lifeline. So I looked at it and I said, wow, Daddy, you have this solid, long Lifeline with no breaks except that little one at the beginning. Did you break something as a kid? He goes, yeah, I broke my arm. I said, wow, well, that's the only thing you're going to have happen because it's like solid from that point on. You're going to have a really long, healthy life and die at 89. Well, Dad was a new man immediately after that, in every way, because the next morning, Mother was singing I Could Have Danced All Night while she made breakfast. And all was well again. But by the way, my father lived a long and healthy life and died at 89.
No. Are you serious?
I cross my heart.
Okay, so why do we believe all of this? I think for me, the title of fortune teller was enough. I mean, they were just predisposed to believe anything and everything I said because they assumed I knew because of the title. I mean, what?
But that's a big responsibility.
I
Sue.
know. But I guess if whatever I said made them feel better, I guess it's okay, ultimately, right?
All right.
Yeah?
But this is what I've been thinking ever since. I think about my dad, and it made him feel better when I assured him that he would live to be 89 rather than 49.
Yeah.
But what if he was really meant to live to be 99, and because I told him he would die at 89, he gave up that year and willed himself to die?
Well, you just could have told him you made it up.
How? He was dead.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Did you ever read Another Palm?
Oh, God, no. Did you?
No.
Yeah, no.
I'll read yours if you read mine.
Okay, how'd you know that stuff about the mounds?
Oh, it just came to me.
Okay, well, I have a mound right here. What does it say?
Oh, well, wait a minute. I have to look at it in context.
Hang my soul, hang it on the line, clean as a whistle and shiny as a dime. Hang my soul, hang it in the sun, show the world the stain is gone. Hidden beaches, unnamed land, this world ain't old enough to understand that the hands that sin, are the hands that pray. A little bitty bleach goes a long, long way. Hang my soul, hang it on the line, clean as a whistle and shiny as a dime.
You're listening to the roar of the female humans.
Please welcome my guest for the conversation, Kim Inslee. Hey, Kim.
I love listening to Sue Scott and all of these women.
Oh.
They're just amazing.
So Kim.
Sue.
Okay, so up until very recently, you've spent most of your working life in TV broadcasting.
Yes.
Like, since you were a small child.
I was a very small child. I
Yes.
started as an infant
Yes.
and had a more than 30-year career in television.
Right, that's amazing. She's just 31 right now.
All right.
So, anyway. And so from 1993 to 2017, you were the morning anchor at KARE 11, the NBC affiliate here in the area. But you're not a native Minnesotan.
No. I have a windy path. I was born in Arizona, and I spent my formative years until I was 18 in Oregon. Went to college there for a couple of years. Went to the University of Texas, graduated from there. Hook 'em horns!
Oh, that's
Is there
where all
any
the
Longhorns in the
Yeah,
crowd?
the Texas thing. Yeah, okay.
I worked in California, I worked in Oregon, and then got the job out here.
Okay, so you're working for a station in Sacramento, California.
Yeah.
And you get a call.
I did. It's rare in TV that you get a call to do anything. You grow up in TV, and you always hear there are 10 people in line who want your job, and if you don't like it, I'll hire one of them for less, right? And so to have a TV station call and express an interest was unusual. I had not thought about the Minneapolis-St. Paul area at all. My husband and I were like, Mary Tyler Moore, okay, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And I came here, and I loved the area, and I loved the people, and I loved the station. I just thought the news here at all of the stations was really, really good. So
Yeah, so she gets the call. She comes
Really?
here, and start working with KARE 11. Okay, so for those 24 years you did the morning show, you were on the air from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah, it started out as a 6 a.m. show, and then it seemed like every 5 years they decided everybody was getting up earlier and earlier, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're really not. And so we got up early, and it got to 4:30. Luckily, I never had to do that 4:30.
Oh, really? They start the show at 4:30?
Yeah, all the stations here start at 4:30.
Who was watching TV at 4:30? Raise your hand. Is anybody?
Proves my point. Oh, there's one back there.
One back there. Well, you had one viewer. Okay. So then they thought 4:30, no, not for that one person. So then they moved it back to 5.
It starts at 4:30, but I came on at 5. Yeah, so a different person did the 4:30, and then Tim and I would come on.
Oh, and then you come out 5. So you had to get up at what time to be on the air at 5?
I got up at 10 to 2 every morning. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Which is interesting to me. You told me that earlier, and I thought, not 2, not 1:45.
No.
1:50, 10 to 2. So I'm sure you probably started getting up at 2 and thought, no, I just need that 10 extra minutes for my yoga workout, or that extra something to, iron my something.
You
right?
have it timed out by the minute.
I'm
I had
sure.
everything laid out the night before, everything timed out by the minute.
No, I love it. Okay, but see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You now say you sleep into 4, and you don't get up at 1:50 anymore. You get up at 4 or 5 or something like that?
5:10.
5:10. Okay, but but see, I'm a Twitter follower of yours.
Thank you.
I'm often still awake at 2 or 3 in the morning. It's just the way it is, what I'm going to say. I get tweets from you. I know you could schedule those things. I get that, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think you're up at 2 in the morning and you are tweeting. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong.
I don't think so. I think she's going, I sleep in now. I sleep in. She said, not. I don't sleep in anymore. So you were telling me during your 24 years of anchoring that you did at one point start this series.
What's Cool in Our School.
What's Cool in Our Schools, and ended up winning a regional Emmy.
It did?
Yeah, tell us about that. That went on for about 10 years. You did that once a week, right?
Yeah, I was... schools were getting bad-mouthed a lot. My father was an educator, and so this was the time of the Jesse Ventura administration, and I think he just wasn't too keen on his experience with public schools or schooling. And so there would be a lot of negative talk about schools and teachers. I love schools and teachers. And I thought, what a great thing to go out and talk and highlight things that are working in schools, whether it's an individual teacher in a classroom or a district or a school itself. And so I would go out every week and I would do positive stories about our schools, and I loved it. And it also got me into all of these schools in the area. And I got to see every stage that my kids were in, too. So I always knew what was coming down the pike. I could speak with authority. Well, in 5th grade, this is going to happen. And they thought I was a genius. But it was a great way to get myself behind the scenes, which is why you go into journalism, right?
Yeah,
learn stuff.
Yeah. And you were telling me that you started to shoot and edit those pieces yourself.
As media has had to wrestle with the change of things and a smaller slice of the pie, budgets grew smaller, and equipment changed as well. So now TV stations very rarely hire a reporter. They hire a multimedia journalist who does it all. Oh. So when you see that they're bringing in people who know how to shoot and edit, you darn well better get out there and learn how to shoot and edit, right? So that's what I did. I'm a control freak, so it was the best thing ever. So I would shoot and edit my stories, and I loved it.
Yeah, I know, and I was asking about this. It's like, how did you get yourself in the shot? And you get the
We have
tweak and-
tripods.
Yeah.
Tripod.
But you still have to kind of go on one side, then you go on the other side, you go on one side.
There's
you go
a
on the other
lot of
side.
guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be doing that all day. It would drive myself nuts. Okay, so on Friday, October 20th, 2017,
She got the date.
2 years into your current, at the time, 3-year contract,
Yeah.
you were released from
I
Care
wa-
11.
I was told that I was no longer going to be doing the morning show. Yes. Yeah.
And you're going to be taking out the trash instead, or what was it you're going to be doing? Shooting. You're going to be
That
shooting.
there would not necessarily be a job. Yes.
Right. And this was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because all right, you've worked in the entertainment field.
I have.
So many parts for actresses over the age of 40, right? TV and probably radio to some extent is a young person's game, or so we think. And I think if you're long enough in TV, or if you're long enough in anything where you're in front of people and you're female, you expect that at some point that might happen. It's a possibility. It's a risk. And I didn't ask why. I am not drawing a line back to that, not by any means. But it was more like a script playing out the way that you think, yeah, that could happen.
And so, you feel like the script that you might have imagined did come to life? It's like...
I felt like being a woman who was over 50 at the time, that was always a possibility for anybody. And I hear men
For
say...
any women, you mean?
You know what? I hear men say that too. In business, I hear men say that.
Not as much.
Well...
But here's my question for you. So you didn't ask because you didn't want to know why, or you didn't...
Two reasons. I felt very secure in what I brought to it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you should always bring 100%. And I'm not saying that everybody would necessarily agree with that. Of course, you're going to have people say, yes, she could have done a little bit more. I felt comfortable with...
She could have gotten up at 145. But no, 150, that's where she drew the line.
I felt that I brought to the job what I needed to bring. I felt comfortable in my abilities.
Of course.
And I also know that in the world of HR, it's not necessarily that you're going to be told the real reason why.
Yeah.
So,
Or
what's
it's
the
not
point of
even,
asking?
yeah, or it's not even legal to tell you the real reason why. That
I
can
don't
be.
know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. And also, I had planned in my mind that at the end of that contract, I wanted to leave anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I felt that this was the boot out the door, time to get moving. Didn't want to sit there and play, oh, poor me. I wanted to get on with my life. And so I did.
Which is terrific. That's just terrific. But, okay, let's just say hypothetically.
Yeah.
You were 57 at the time?
56?
56?
I was in my 50s.
Okay.
I still
later
am.
50s. Yeah. Okay. Let's just say that age had something to do with it. Your co-host was male and was around your same age, and there's that whole thing about the demographics, and it's like, oh, we're changing things, that kind of stuff. So it's like, why does the woman have to go and not the man? And I'm not trying to go down. We're not going to the dark side. That's just a question I have. So if age was maybe part of the reason, it wasn't anything you did wrong. You didn't not dress well. You didn't come unprepared. None of that kind of thing. So how did that feel to think, well, I've been here a long time. This is inevitable, like you were just saying. This might be inevitable as a woman in the business at this age, the age range. Mm-hmm. This might be inevitable. How does that feel?
I think any time that... First of all, I would never want to work for somebody or someplace that didn't want me there.
True.
So
Amen.
I will be the first to exit when someone indicates that's what I should do. Mm-hmm. It felt surreal. Mm-hmm. I think anytime somebody finds that they no longer have a situation or job or whatever that they have become used to, it feels surreal. I felt like my arms and legs were actually tingling, and someone said, it's because you're untethered. You feel untethered. Yeah. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I felt untethered. I knew that I needed to get on with my life, and there was great unknown, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when you are of when you're middle-aged and you're trying to make a transition or move on, do something different, I had a fear, how am I going to be received out there in the world? And I am happy to report I was received well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to go online, or it's online and Facebook, I think. So that afternoon, you get this news. That afternoon, you post this video, this like 3-minute video of you walking around. She's walking around familiar places of the Twin Cities, and she's delivering this video love letter to your coworkers and your viewers. And I ask you, and it's beautifully shot, and it's just hours after you found out. And how on earth could you do that and not be emotional?
The magic of television. Because you always see signs on the wall, right? There are always hints. There's always in the back of your mind, if this happens, how would I handle this? And I knew that I wanted to say farewell to the people who had watched for so many years. It's an intimate relationship when people get up that early to watch you. Yeah, it really is. And I wanted to have some control over how I would say goodbye. So that was always something that was kind of in the back of my mind.
Oh, what's really curious to me is it's a selfie. So she's got her phone out there, and she's walking around, and it's beautifully framed. Obviously, she knows what she's doing. And the fact that it was done hours later, but you were telling me that you have some kind of fancy stick on your phone, and you can...
It's called a gimbal, and it's just something that gyrates so that it maintains control over whatever camera is in it, so it doesn't jostle around. But see, I learned how to shoot and edit, so I could do those things.
I know. You could videotape your own farewell message.
I could.
It's beautiful. I get emotional when I see it because I know that this has just happened, and I'm just thinking, look at this control and this sense of grace and this sense of power that you have in this moment to say. I sort of see it as being in control of the narrative. It's like, okay, the newspaper the next day is going to say abruptly left or dumped or whatever they say because they're looking for some sort of sensational thing to say, and you're saying you're taking the high road. It looks like you're taking the high road, and you're saying I'm going to turn this around on you people, and I'm going to tell you right now. It was great 24 years. I loved everybody I worked with. Thank you for viewing.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be negative. I don't. There's no negativity toward what happened. There's no negativity toward anything other than to say thank you for the opportunity. And I feel like there are far more serious things in the world. We've all been through harder things. And so to me, it was not the end of the world. So I didn't want to treat it that way. And the media in town were actually very, very kind. And my former colleagues were very, very kind. So, I continue to feel lucky.
Okay, you went on to work for Meet Minneapolis.
I did.
So
one of my former colleagues is right there.
Very quickly. So tell me about that. So you jump from that. Okay, fine. Here's the video. See ya. Bye. And sleeping until 4. And then you started working and then the Super Bowl.
They had just finished up the Super Bowl.
They
so
just
I started
finished up the
right
Super Bowl.
after that, so I got to be involved with the Final Four and the X Games, and that was a ton of fun. And conventions in town, and being downtown and being connected to all the businesses and the teams and whatnot was just wonderful.
And how were you taking your skills, your broadcast skills, and putting them towards sort of this convention bureau PR stuff? How was that switch?
I think just understanding a little bit more about the media than maybe somebody else would is an important skill set. As you're a communicator is a communicator, right? So what is the story? You're a storyteller in television. You're a storyteller. Businesses all want to have their story told. So they need good storytellers, and that's kind of what the germ is that everybody's interested in.
Okay, so in that job, so let's just say this, you have to have nice hair, nice nails, and all that kind of stuff for being on television. Do you still feel like you have to do that? I mean, not that you're going to show up in sweats. Did she show up in sweats? She probably showed up in sweats. Anyway, I'm just saying, is there that difference that it's like, oh, well, now I don't need to worry about that so
much? A lot
of
places it's dress for your day. So I always took, if there's a chance that you might be on TV, you need to be able to look appropriate at the
Sure.
appropriate time.
Yeah.
Now I work at a company called Digital River, which is much more casual. I'm not going to be on TV, so I might look a little scruffy some days going into work, which is wonderful. I don't have a wardrobe for that, right? It's like I didn't know
fun.
how to do that. I had to get rid of my work clothes.
Yeah, was that freeing? Was there something was there something freeing about that?
Yeah, but I didn't want to spend any more money on casual clothes. I'd already spent too much money on clothes in my lifetime, so I'm kind of weaning myself off that wardrobe.
No, I just think that's great. So tell us what you're doing at Digital River.
Corporate public relations,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a Wild West feel because it's a tech company. And it's tremendous fun. I get to dip my paws into a lot of different pots, and I'm enjoying it very much. It's all about e-commerce, so it's shopping. Who doesn't like shopping, right?
Yeah, right. Well, you obviously, because you're not buying clothes for the thing. Okay, so then you decide. Well, tell me what happened. You have a podcast.
Yes.
You have a podcast.
We have
It's
a
called
podcast
Three
with
Women
two friends.
and a Bottle of Wine. And wait. Oh, look who's coming up here.
Well,
this is
hello,
one of her
Kim.
podcasts.
This is Lynn Melling.
Hi.
This is Lynn Milling, yes. And Lynn.
I'm not worthy. I don't feel worthy to be on this stage right now.
No, you're totally worthy. And just pull that up so you don't
Lynn
have to.
is a former
Yeah.
journalist. So Lynn
Yes.
was an anchor in Des Moines, Iowa, covered a lot of the political stuff that goes
Yeah.
on down there. And
Yeah.
she called me up in the middle of the day one day and said, you're a former journalist, so am I.
Yeah.
Let's get together.
Well,
Fish
wait,
out of
wait.
water, yeah.
How long ago was this? This was just months ago.
Oh, when we started the podcast?
Yeah.
About a year ago, exactly. In
Okay.
fact, Facebook reminded me of that the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Something like
And so the podcast is called, again, it's called Three Women and a Bottle of Wine. And tell us what it's about. And the third woman.
Julie Bartke is
Yes.
our third, and she's recovering from hip surgery.
She's amazing. She's a trooper, yeah.
She's a former journalist as well.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was three of us, former journalists. Yeah, we were having beer and we thought we miss interviewing people. That was the thing we really loved about journalism, and so we thought, what the heck, we had some gear, and we decided just to start. And it was really liberating. It was really freeing. It was kind of a creative outlet, and it's just been a ton of fun. And we've gotten to interview some really great people, and Sue Scott being our first guest,
I was
by
hoping you
the
were gonna say
way,
that.
which
Sue
was a
was so
huge,
gracious to be on the show.
yes, that was a big thrill for me, being a Prairie Home Companion fan my whole life.
They do really, you go to a restaurant, seriously,
Yeah.
and you order wine. And
We're very
there's-
classy.
There's microphones on the table, and then you talk. How fun
That's
is
it.
that?
Sue was great.
How fun is that?
3 women, a bottle of wine, and Sue Scott was amazing.
Well, it's fun. The whole thing is funny. All your guests are really interesting and diverse, and it's so fascinating to me that how you guys met. It was sort of like, hey, you're a former journalist. I'm a former journalist. Let's do a podcast.
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing when you leave TV news. I compare it to being in the military. You speak a different language.
Yeah.
It's a whole different culture, and then you leave it, and you feel like you're in no man's land. You don't quite fit in anymore in TV, but you don't really fit in anywhere else either. And so I was trying to find my tribe, and I emailed poor Kim because I knew she'd just left TV news too. And I'm like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Let's have lunch. I don't know anybody else in this position. And
I think we
yeah,
should all
it's
do
great.
that. You just call up somebody, hey, you want to be my friend?
It was
Let's
great.
have beer. Let's start a
was great,
podcast. Let's just do that. So yeah, check it out. 3 women and a bottle of wine, and it's wherever you get your podcasts, as they say. Thank you, Lynn, for filling us in on
Oh,
that.
thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
I'm honored.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Kim. It's so great to know that you had embraced that for so many years, and now you're embracing all these new things, and you're getting more sleep, and you're just doing so well, and nobody is controlling you. Nobody is keeping you down, and you were just
You got that right.
yes, love it, love it, love it. Kim Inslee, everybody.
Thank you.
Kim
Thank
Inslee.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, that's our show. Again, thank you to Kim Inslee and Lynn Melling. And I want to thank our cast, Day Yang and Nancy Bagshaw Reasoner. And thank you to Michelle Myers-Berg for jumping in. And our guest singer-songwriter, Simone Perrin. And tonight's episode was written by Nancy, Day, Sue, and Simone. And engineered by our lovely male allies, Barry Medore and Tony Axtell. Thanks to our volunteers, Suzanne Egley and Carolyn Ward-Denton, and to Lynn Gordon and the amazing staff here at the North Social Hall. And we will be back next month for another live Island of Discarded Women. Thank you, everybody. I'm Sue Scott.
We're gone.